Welcome to Nightmare County. I'm your host, Randall M. Gould, and I want to say to you, happy Friday the 13th. Although, by the time this video probably posts, Friday the 13th has already passed, but still, I want to wish you, or hope that you had, a happy Friday the 13th. And I know that most people out there, especially in the realm of horror, we all pretty much share Friday the 13th memes or whatever, especially on social media. And we always like to post that we have watched all of the Friday the 13th films from the first one all the way to the 2009 remake. Um, when it comes to the Friday the 13th films, even though I watch the films periodically throughout the entire year, I watch part 6, I watch parts 2, 3, 4, and 6 a lot. And I watch the others here and there, but there are 3 films out of this series that I hardly watch at all. And that would be parts 5, Jason Goes to Hell, and Jason X. So, preparing for Friday the 13th, I decided to watch 3 films that I hardly watch at all. And I watched parts 5. I somehow found myself enjoying part 5 a lot more than I probably should have. It still has a lot of great kills in it, and although I'm not going to, I don't want to talk about the ending without spoiling it for people who might watch the video and then watch the movie. But the ending, I can understand why a lot of fans pretty much stay away from this film. It's the reason why I did, especially because of the ending. We find out who's who and everything. But despite all that, the movie does have some of the best kills and some really great one-liners. That being said, I actually enjoyed part 5 a lot more than what I remember. As it goes for Jason Goes to Hell, I still do not like that movie. I enjoy maybe the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes of that movie, and that is it. And that's because those are the parts with Kane Hodder and Jason, pretty much Jason, and that's it. I can't stand any other parts of that movie. It's just not a fun movie. It's just not a good movie, period. There's nothing that I can enjoy about that movie other than the fact that it used to have a really great poster whenever I would go into the VHS store as a kid. I'd see Jason Goes to Hell up there on the top of the wall, and I think, man, it looks awesome, with a chrome skull, the flames behind it, and a snake coming out of the eyeball. But other than the cool poster and like 10 minutes of actual good footage, I just don't care for that movie at all. As for Jason X, Jason X is pretty much an incredibly dumb movie, but it knows it's a dumb movie. I believe, we all know that the writers and directors knew that they were making a dumb movie because it's got the kind of special effects that you saw on late Saturday nights when they used to make those fantasy sci-fi epics like not Hercules, Legendary Journeys, but there was a lot of like Andromeda and stuff like that. There were sci-fi TV shows where they didn't have the best special effects, but they were passable. That's Jason X to a T. It's got some horrible special effects in it. The computer generated effects are not great. It's got some really bad acting. But it is incredibly fun, and I would actually recommend Jason X just because of the campy fun factor that it has. And it has probably some of the best kills in any of the Jason movies. Well, not any of them, but probably the last 3 Jason films. It's got some of the best kills. Anything better, I think, than Takes Manhattan, Goes to Hell, and everything. But it definitely has some of the best, most fun kills in the and there is a sequence in there with a computer-generated atmosphere that offers a few laughs. It's actually got a good bit of laughs, and it's enjoyable in a campy bad way. But come on. I think with everybody knows that when you send Jason to outer space or any horror villain to outer space, it's going to be campy, and it's mainly played for laughs. That being said, I still think I actually enjoy Jason X a lot more this time than I did when I saw it in theaters so many years ago. And man, uh, at the time when I saw that movie, I feel like I wasted my $10 going to movies to watch that. But going back and watching it now, it's not nearly as bad. If I would have went into it with the mindset I did now, knowing that it was going to be campy, I would have enjoyed it a lot more. And I probably, if I went with a bunch of friends, we could have made fun of it the entire time we were watching it too. Because it's one of those films that would be great for like Mystery Science Theater 3000 or Riff Tracks to make fun of. But that being said, I decided to watch those three. I watch Freddy vs. Jason pretty much every 3 months because it's just a lot of the other Friday the 13th films are just fun to watch and put it on in the background while you're doing stuff. But part 2, part 4, and 6 are without a doubt my favorite Friday the 13th films. Like I said, I enjoy all of them except those three I've mentioned that. But I've come to respect them a little bit better than what I used to, because I used to just dog them all the time. But yeah, but Jason, Friday 13th Part 4, Friday 13th Part 2 is without a doubt. I like Potato Sack Head Jason. I just, for some reason, ever since I saw The Town That Dreaded Sundown, I like it when movies have the potato sack look, and I like that version of Jason. Don't get me wrong, I love Hockey Mask, especially. What I liked about the Friday the 13th films was how they progress the, especially all the earlier films. The damage that Jason takes, he takes on in his mask. I always enjoyed that. And I mean, come on, the best thing about Part 4 is Corey Feldman and the gore effects and the special effects. I think in Part 4 are some of the best. I mean, don't get me wrong, Tom Savini knocked out of the park on all the films that he did, but Part 4, I think the practical effects just really work, especially when there's a scene where Jason falls down on something. But Part 2 has I think it was Part 2? Part 2, or, I don't know, I forget which, man, I'm getting mad at myself because I can't think of, but it's a scene where the guy's in a wheelchair and he gets hit in the head with a machete. That's without a doubt my favorite, that's Part 2. Part 2, Part 3. No, that's Part 2. Part 2. That's Part 2. Oh, man. I don't know now. Now that I'm second guessing myself. But yeah, the part where the guy in the wheelchair gets hit in the head with a machete and falls down a long flight of stairs. And when I saw that, I laughed out so loud because it's so outrageous. It's hilarious. Part 6 is my second favorite Friday the 13th film because it was actually Part 6 was the first Jason movie that I actually ever saw. Friday the 13th film I ever saw. And it was probably a good reason because it has it's got a lot of humor in it. Got a lot of great kills in it too. I love it when he rips the guy's arm off. There's a lot of good kills in Part 6. Jason Lives. The title sequence, the James Bond-esque title sequence with the our first time seeing the undead Jason, which is my favorite Jason, is the zombie Jason, I guess. But that being said, yeah, I think it's the coolest thing about Friday the 13th is everyone decides to pull out the movies and watch them, post videos or whatever, and hopefully sometime in the near future, whatever's tying up the Friday the 13th franchise from ever getting another film made gets resolved, because if you just look up online about what's going on between the legal battles of the Friday the 13th franchise, it's ridiculous. And it's funny because, I mean, this is a franchise people, you can make a low budget and people are going to go watch. I mean, it's like the Halloween films are Nightmare on Elm Street. People are going to go watch it, regardless. I mean, that's just how it is. And I would love to see, whenever the remake came out, I mean, I got excited because I thought Derek Mears was a great Jason Voorhees. I know everyone's favorite is either Kane Hodder or Kinzinger or C.G. Graham or whoever, but I thought Derek Mears was a great Jason Voorhees. He was imposing. He's a big dude. And I got pictures of meeting him, and I don't even come up to his shoulders. And I'm 6'1". So, but anyways, it sucks because I enjoyed the remake. Was it the best remake? I mean, probably not. But I think with how Halloween is being, I guess quasi sequel, with Halloween, Halloween Kills, and whatever the next one's going to be. If they could have done that with Friday the 13th, which they kind of did with the Friday the 13th remake, it would. I think they had a chance to set it up to make even more better films, but we never got that. We never got Derek Mears to play Jason again. I think he did an incredibly good job, and hopefully, if they ever do fix whatever legal battles they're having with the franchise, Derek Mears will get a chance to come back and play the character. Because I know a lot of the other guys that play Jason, they're already getting up there in age, well, everyone is. But I think Derek Mears can still pull it off. But yeah, that being said, I've always enjoyed the Friday the 13th series. It's actually, Halloween will always be my favorite slasher movie series, but Friday the 13th is, I mean, it's right on. Halloween is my second favorite franchise. Then, Nightmare on Elm Street, so on and so forth down the ladder. But Friday the 13th has always been a fun series for me. I mean, they're great. I mean, I don't know many people who don't like, people who like slashers who don't like Friday the 13th. Because, I mean, the first film pretty much propelled all the slasher genre, in my opinion. I mean, you had Halloween, you had Black Christmas before Halloween, you had Halloween, and but when Friday the 13th came out, that's when it's like gajillion slasher movies were made right after that. It's like it's like, we're gonna take a holiday and we're gonna make a slasher movie out of that holiday. And I'm still waiting on Eli Roth's Thanksgiving. I don't think it'll ever happen, but maybe one day we'll get the Thanksgiving slasher movie. Who knows? But no, Friday the 13th really. When most people think of slasher movies, the first two slashers they think of is Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees, and I mean that says a lot. And I mean I even love the video games. Despite, man, I'll never forget playing one on Nintendo. That game was utterly bad, but I played it. I owned it because that box cover was awesome. That's why I like the NECA's version of Jason Voorhees. This one right here, the video game version of Jason Voorhees. Because I just like the box art. I mean, I enjoy it. I'm glad I got the figure, but I love the box art. And but yeah, the original game sucked, and it was hard as hell. I never beat it, so I always kind of told everybody that Splatterhouse was actually Friday the 13th, because Splatterhouse was a much better game and had the spirit of Friday the 13th more so than any other game up until the Friday the 13th PS4, or I guess Xbox PS4 game that came out here 2 years ago. And what happened with that game was sad as well. But I mean, you had a fun video game when you had friends playing, or a good group of people. But that community's pretty much dried up, and no one plays that game hardly anymore because of all the legal woes of the Friday the 13th franchise. But that being said, I'm hoping that one day we'll get more Friday the 13th sequels or something, remake, whatever. Until then, we have a lot of great fan-made films pumping out content for Jason Voorhees. A lot of them are really good. They're great even. I mean, I would say they're they're probably just as good as some of the sequels in the franchise. Definitely better than Jason Goes to Hell. Definitely better than Jason X. And they're fan films. I mean, although they're short, they don't got hardly the budget that any of those films did. And yeah, I understand the main reason why some of those films are the way they are is because of how they were controlled and how they were pretty much pushed to look a certain way and everything and be done a certain way. Whereas fan films, there's so much passion behind it. They love the characters that they're going to put a lot of respect into it and a lot of make it the best they possibly can. And that love for the character and the franchise shows more in those fan films than it does in some of the sequels and stuff. But that being said, that's all I want to do. I want to kind of just touch on Jason Voorhees and Friday the 13th because it's a great franchise, and make a video for this day and everything, even though this is going to be late probably by the time it gets posted. I'm going to stay on slasher movies for my next video. I'm going to bring up 10 slasher movies you probably never have heard of that you probably should give a try, a chance to watch, because there's a lot of great random slasher movies that deserve their own franchises, but they just never made it, even though they made money. Some of them you can't even find on DVD. You have to go back and find a VHS copy or find some horrible VHS copy print that's been put on YouTube. But I'm gonna post. We're gonna do a video on 10 slasher movies that you should have heard of that you haven't heard of. And but yeah. But I want to thank you for tuning in, watching this video, and if you get a chance, subscribe if you want to, and hit that like button, and because I'd greatly appreciate it. And don't be a stranger and tune in.